Before I begin, I would like to thank you for being here. Mom, Dad, you came all the way from Ohio to Tennessee just to listen to me speak. Like you've never heard that before. Karen, I'd like to thank you for being here and taking care of the PowerPoint slides for my speech. Thank you. My name is Christopher Price, and I have been an evangelist and a missionary for 14 years with Christian Motorcyclists Association and Missionary Ventures International. Throughout South America, Central America, all over the United States, and into Canada, preaching the gospel of Christ. I've been a network engineer for over 26 years, so I've been in the business sector. I've been in the ministry. I have seen the way society has changed over the years. What I want to do today is to show, excuse me, as a nation, as a society, how we've abandoned God's will and His way, and we've replaced it with our own opinions. Dr. David Getch, a prominent author of over 70 books, a retired vice president and professor of business and political science from Northwest Florida State College, a widely recognized and respected public speaker, wrote an article in the Patriot Update website, April of 2014, titled, "America Has Turned Away from God." How's that working out for you? In this article, he says God gave us the 10 Commandments, providing a moral structure for our lives. But then he goes on to say, we have cast aside his teaching, including the 10 Commandments, as if they never existed, replacing them with moral relativity. Austin Coons, a contributing writer for inspirational Christian blogs, wrote an article in January of 2013 titled "America, a Nation Turned Against God," where he quotes Mike Huckabee, former governor of Arkansas, saying that we have personally escorted God out of our nation. We've cast him out. We have turned our back on God. We've even escorted him out of our nation. All we have to do is pick up the newspaper, turn on the TV, and we're going to see time and time again what has happened as a result. You see, God values human life. Yet, how many abortions are there each year? God values our love for one another, but we can't walk out of the house without arming ourselves for protection. God values family values the way He defines family values, but we have decided to redefine the sanctity of marriage. And now more and more children are being brought up in broken homes. The Pro-Choice Action Network website has an article titled "Personhood. Is a Fetus a Human Being?" It was written in 2001 by Joyce Arthur, a very outspoken activist in favor of pro-choice. She says the status of a fetus is a matter of subjective opinion, and this is a common viewpoint among people of the mindset of pro-choice. Dr. Elliot Curie, a professor of criminology, law, and society at Berkeley University, one of the many books he wrote is called "Crime and Punishment in America," where he makes the statement, violent crime has become the accepted backdrop of life in the United States. And another article in the Washington Post dated December 18th, 2014 by Emily Badger titled "The Unbelievable Rise of the Single Motherhood in America Over the Past 50 Years," where she says children of unmarried moms are more likely to have a father in prison, or who's unemployed, or who sells drugs or abuses his partner. I could go on and on and on, but we all know what the consequences of these actions are. So what do? How do we fix this? How do we get back on track? How do we find our way? The answer is rather simple. We can find it in God's Word. 2 Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14, God says, "If my people who are called by my name humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, I will hear from heaven, and I will forgive their sin, and I will heal their land." Simply put, we need to put God first. We need to center on God. Jesus himself says in the book of Matthew, chapter 22, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. He then says that you shall love your neighbor as yourself. So, what next? Well, it starts with the individual. It starts with you and it starts with me. We need to study God's word. We need to follow his will. We need to be on God's time frame. When God's word says life is precious, it needs to be precious to us. When God's word says love and care for one another, we need to love and care for one another. When God's word says marriage is for life, it needs to be for life, no matter how hard it gets. See, we've got a problem. We have left God, but God's got the solution, and we can follow that. Thank you.